So what is geographical variances? Okay, I'll tell you, and what is geographical variances, and I'll tell you, and I'll keep telling you. Let me repeat it once again. That is, have you understood? What did I tell you? Well, I told you with the geographical variances. So it's for geographical differences or geographical variances. Okay, so let me tell you if it comes to the India. So let me tell you whether India is considered as a land of diversification. Okay, let me repeat it once again. Whether if it comes to the India, India is actually considered as a land of diversification, and it is said whether over there the land changes over every single kilometers. Let me repeat it once again. That is, if it comes to the India, India is actually considered as a land of diversification, and over there the land changes over every single kilometer. So that is why it is actually being sung by a singer, whether यहाँ हर कदम कदम पर धरती बदले अपना रंग, यहाँ की बोली में है सातों रंग. So let me tell you whether, as I told you, whether India is actually a land of diversification, and over there the land changes and it actually keeps changing over every single kilometers. Okay, it changes, and over there you will see you will see actually so that is why you do see a geographical variances in India. Okay, and let me tell you, whenever the geography changes, whenever there occurs a kind of geographical variances, it brings variances in various things. Let me repeat it once again. That is, let me tell you whether if it comes to the geographical variances, whenever the geography varies or it changes, it actually brings variances in various things like a culture, food, clothing, lifestyle, habits. So for all among all these things, it brings some variances. Okay, let me tell you with an example. That is, let me tell you whether there is actually a community, and the community lives in a deserted area. That's exactly what the community does. Okay, and let me tell you whether if you are living in deserted area, so let me tell you whether if you are living in deserted area, so at first there is actually a lack of water remains in geographical. There is actually a lack of water that remains in deserted area, and apart from that, do you know what happened? The deserted area, the sand remains, and the sand, whatever the sand that remains in whatever the sand that remains in deserted area, you have to make sure that the sand doesn't go inside your body, as if it goes inside your body, as it goes inside your lung, it actually will destroy you. So you have to make sure that it doesn't go inside your body. So to stop it inside your body, you have to make sure with that you are covering your entire body. Okay, let me repeat it once again. That is, that the sun doesn't go inside your body, so you have to make sure that you are covering your entire body. So for that you have to cover your entire body. Okay, and apart from that, as I told you, whether in deserted area the weather remains too much hot, so for that you have to make sure that is you are wearing the cotton cloth. Okay, or that cloth that makes sure, and those clothes or that kind of cloth that makes sure that the air passes into from inside your body. Okay, let me repeat it once again. That if you are living in geographical area or actually in deserted area, you have to make sure that you have to wear the cloth that make sure that the sun doesn't pass from inside your body. And apart from that, you have to make sure additionally that kind of clothes that make sure that the air passes from your body, as the air has to pass for your survival. Then only you'll be able to survive over there properly. Then only actually you'll be able to breathe over there properly. So for that you have to make sure that you are actually wearing such kind of clothes. Okay, and apart from that, let me tell you whether if you are living in those area, that is actually a hot region. So over there you have to make sure that you know what would happen. You have to avoid and keep avoiding the black clothes. Why you have to do such? As let me tell you whether the black absorbs the color. So do you know what happen? It absorbs the heat. So if someone wears black clothes, clothes in deserted area, so he will feel much hot than the person who has worn the other clothes. So if you are wearing the black cloth in deserted area, especially in the hot region, so you will feel more heat. Okay, more hot. Okay, and apart from so for that you have to make sure that if you are living in a deserted area, so you have to make sure that you are avoiding the black color. And apart from that, if you are living in the hot area, then for that the color, the best color to be worn, that the color remains the best color to be worn remains basically the white color, as that absorbs the heat light. And you know what happen? If you are actually wearing the white clothes in deserted area, that actually makes you a little bit comfortable. So you have to make sure that you are wearing the white clothes. Okay, in the deserted area. So do you know what happen? If you are living in deserted area, at first you have to make sure that there is the lack of water over there, especially drinking water. So you have to make sure that you are saving water as you have to. And apart from that, especially drinking water, you have to save it and keep saving it. And apart from that, you have to avoid and keep avoiding the hot clothes. You have to wear, you have to wear the cotton clothes or that clothes that make sure that you that make sure that the air passes inside your body. And apart from that, you have to cover your entire body so that the air doesn't pass in it, so that the air doesn't go inside your body. And apart from that, you have to cover your head as well from the suns. And apart from that, you have to cover black color. And apart from that, you have to you have to avoid and keep avoiding actual black color. And actually apart from that, you have to make sure that you have majority of the chances, you have to make sure that you are wearing the white color. So white clothes to that covers your entire body. And the clothes has to remain such that that make sure that actually make sure that the air passes inside your body. And apart from that, you have to actually do a thing whether you have to cover your head additionally. Okay, and so this it becomes a culture of that place. Okay, and you know what happened, why these all clothes has been these all clothes have been worn by a person, why a person wears all these clothes a person wears for survival. He does it actually, but after sometimes it becomes a habit of an and it becomes a culture of that place as well. Let me tell you whether it becomes a habit and as well as a culture of that place as well. So whoever goes over there, do you know what happened, whoever goes over there, let me tell you that is, do you know what would happen, to just to taste the culture, just to understand the culture, the person the wears the same clothes whatever I described you. And apart from that, if there is actually there is actually a person and the person lives somewhere else. Okay, that is actually not a deserted area, and he has to represent that place whatever that he has to basically represent that place. Then for the representation of that place, he wears such a cloth. Although you know what happened, although the place is actually normal, the place is not deserted area, still to represent that place, he has to make sure that he wears those clothes whatever I told you. Okay, so this so why this has been, why how it all started for survival, but right now it has become the part of the culture, a part of the part of the habit of those people, and as well as the part of the culture. And after sometimes it becomes a trend as well. Okay, exactly what happened. And apart from that, let's go through the opposite place. Okay, if there is actually a place and the place is let me tell you that there is actually a cold region. Okay, and if you are living in a cold region, over there the snow falls. Exactly what it does, over there you are living basically in a place, and in that place the snow falls and actually keeps falling. Exactly what it does. So you have to make sure that at first you have to make sure that over there. Okay, let me tell you whether, do you know what happens, so let me tell you whether over there the wind passes. It's not that the wind doesn't pass, as the wind passes. So in the cold areas the wind passes. So to the cold, in the cold areas basically the wind passes. So at that point of time, whenever the wind passes, so you have to make sure that it doesn't go inside your body, as it is actually a cold area. So you have to avoid and keep avoiding the the actually the cold wind. So for that, you have to make sure that you are covering your entire body. So you have to cover your entire body to avoid the wind. Okay, to especially the cold wind. Okay, and apart from that, you have to cover your entire body. And apart from that, you are living in a cold area. So over there, do you know what you have to do over there? Basically you have to wear those clothes that do remain hot. Okay, you have to wear warm and hot clothes. Okay, that make sure that the winds do not pass inside your body. And apart from that, those clothes actually do keep you hot and warm. So that is why you have to wear those clothes that actually keep you warm. So you have to make sure that you are wearing these kinds of clothes. Okay, so as you are living in a cold place, so over there at first you have to cover your entire body. And apart from that, you do have to wear the hot and warm clothes. Okay, exactly what you have to do. And apart you have to wear the hot and warm clothes. So if it comes to the similarities, so there are similarities that in both the places you have to cover your entire body. Exactly what you have to do with it. There is actually a similarity between the culture of that between those places, that is you have to cover your entire body. Okay, why in the deserted area you have to cover your entire body for to avoid the sand, and in the deserted area you have to cover your entire body to avoid the winds. And apart from that, in the deserted area you are do you know what you are doing in the deserted area? You have to make sure that you are wearing such clothes that make sure actually that the air passes inside your body as it has to pass for your survival. It happens in deserted area, but if it comes to the cold areas, over there you have to make sure that you are wearing such clothes that actually do make sure that the air doesn't pass to that that the air doesn't pass to your body. If it pass, you actually won't be able to survive. So you have to make sure that you have to avoid that the air doesn't pass inside your body. So you have to actually wear such kind of clothes according to the prescribed condition or prescribed environment. Okay, so there is actually so, and apart from that, in the cold areas, you have to wear basically the hot and warm clothes. So let me tell you whether why it all is started. Once again, it all is started for the survival. It is exactly what happened. And after that, do you know what happened? It became the is after which from survival it became the habit. Then it became if a style or a style of the style, you can say, whether the people whoever go over there, do you know what happened? They do try the dresses, they have to try it as and apart from that, let me tell you whether at first it becomes the at first all it started why it all is started for survival. So in the cold areas, you have to make sure that you are covering your entire body from the cold winds, so that it doesn't go inside your body. Exactly what you have to make sure any of it. And apart from that, let me tell you that is whoever goes over there at first wearing these clothes, it becomes a habit. At first it becomes a habit of those people that they have to wear the cloth that make sure that they doesn't go inside the body. And apart from that, they have to cover their entire body. And apart from that, they actually do have to wear hot and warm clothes and apart from that, this is actually what they have to do. Why